Good evening, my beautifuls. There's been such a big response to the question and answers, I decided to do a special. My first question was from Paul. Now, he's a good boy, he's a hard worker and does an awful lot and doesn't get the recognition he should do, being a lifesaver and all that, like nurses and paramedics do. But anyway, Paul's first question was, how do I feel about e-cigarettes being banned in Wales? Well, the answer to that one is, I feel like the Welsh Government might have that one right. I'm a smoker and I go outside and have a fag, and these things are untested. They haven't been tested to see if they're actually good things to be smoking. So, until that time comes and they're actually given the all clear and said that they're actually really healthy, I think best thing is not to pollute people's atmosphere and just like smoking, really. So I'd keep them out of restaurants and places like that. Now, I'm a smoker, as I said, and I go outside and have a fag, and quite happy to do so. Never did like smoking in restaurants and stuff. But I don't see why people should be there puffing away on their things, and I find that a little bit gross, really, and it's not what someone in my position would do. We normally go to a room later and have a cigar and a glass of port. And that's what we do. So thank you for that question, Paul. Our next question from Paul was about the Hillsborough disaster and how the police have actually changed some of the things to suit the saving of the people at the top, I understand. Well, it's not on. We don't do it as people. And, if we did something, and covered it up, then, our ass would be grass and you'd be the lawnmower. Well, just because you're in the police, it don't mean you can cover things up. It's been going on long enough. The Hillsborough disaster, I remember it as if it was yesterday. It's been a long time now. Give these people some bloody closure, will you? They deserve it, I'll take my hats off to the people that lost people and stuff, and people that got hurt in that awful night. It's just not on. Sort yourselves out, seriously. I can't really understand why you'd want to cover something up. Just get it out in the open. Let's get it finished. Let's give a bit of closure to these people. Enough's enough. Next question from Paul was about the Americans being in bed with the Russians over the space exploration, especially with all the troubles going on at the moment. Well, the Americans get into bed with somebody, anybody that bloody helps them, to get what they want. It isn't just about the space race. I mean, they got no money in their own country, so they need to go somewhere else. The Russians obviously have a bit of cash. It's also about oil, it's about gas, it's about all sorts of other things. The Americans just do stuff that only suits them and actually helps them in their day-to-day life. Look at your own country and look at the people that actually need you. You see pictures of things like Detroit and places like that, that got the disaster a few years ago. They just look like places, of hell. You look after your own country people first, and that's what all countries should be doing. And then we'll try and sort out the rest as we go. But the Americans just do that. They only ever help people that are going to help them. All right. Well, Paul's last question is, does the light go out in the fridge when you close the door? Well, I can answer this one personally because my light never comes on anyway because the bugger bulb broke. Well, it's obviously, something that we do know a little bit about, because there is a little switch that apparently comes out and goes on, and if you press that switch, the light goes off. I hope that switch gets hit when the door closes, because if it didn't, the light would stay on. All I've got to say to that is fizzy pops. Alright, my boys, just taking a little break, have a bit of a sandwich, a lordly fish finger sandwich at that. Well, there we go, my beautiful. That was a lovely sandwich, and thank Charlotte for making that kind thing for me. Obviously, it's very difficult being a lord and keeping up with all the lordly stuff, and obviously answering questions is very difficult, so one must keep one substance going in. Can't beat a fish finger sandwich. Anyway, on to the next question. This question's from Mark. What's the best and what's the worst thing about being a lord? Well, the best thing about being a lord is you can kind of talk to people and you can help people out, and it is always nice to help people out as much as possible. There's a lot of people in need, so you can give lordly advice, and you can talk to people about their issues and stuff, and that's why doing things like the questions and stuff, it's always a good thing because it keeps your mind working, and hopefully a little bit of what we do is beneficial to people, and even if it just puts a bloody smile on someone's face, it is enough. So that's the best thing. Now the worst thing, I think the worst thing's seeing people change when they find out that you are actually a lord. It's never always for a good reason. People's attitudes and ways just completely change with you. So, even with family and friends, and that can make life a little bit difficult. Well, after all, it is just a name. I'm Mark, I'll always be Mark, and that ain't ever going to change. Just the fact I've got a Lord title in front of me name. But those people don't understand that, and I'm not sure they ever will. And they know who they are. Well, our next question from Mark is, are you a leg or a breast man? Well, after a lot of consideration, Mark, it was close. But I'm actually a breast man. I like me breast. I like it a lot, actually. Now, I just had a beautiful fish finger sandwich. Absolutely gorgeous with some lovely barbecue sauce. Now, I like a KFC, Mark. Like a bit of breast. But if you're talking about women's breasts, I like some big, and I like some squidgy, and I like some bubbly. I like them all. Our next question is from Alison. Thank you, Alison, for this lovely question. She said, Your Lordship, are you a folder or a scruncher? Well, Alison, I'm actually neither. The lordly way is to oven glove. Now, this is so I don't get poo on my hands. But thank you for your question. I'm an oven glover. The next question's from Ryan. Ryan's asked, as a lord, am I a giver or a taker? Well, Ryan, I'm a giver. I like giving. I've never been a taker. But I'll give as much as possible. Alright? Our next question's from Tone. Tone's asked the question, if I was in the government, would I spend £12 billion on pottos? The answer to that is no, I wouldn't, Tone. Because I'm a lord and I travel in the back of a car. I like my lady in the back of the car, and if it weren't for those pottos, I wouldn't see her jubblies bumping up and down now, would I? So I'd say no, I wouldn't spend it on that. You can get on and get your four-wheel drives and all that. We've been living with potholes down this part of the country, up the lanes and stuff, for many a year. It hasn't done us too much harm, and like I say, it's a chance to see. Toodaloo. Our next question's from Tone. Tone's asked, if a tree falls down in the Amazon rainforest and nobody was in earshot, would it make a noise? Well, Tone, the answer to this question is a pure yes, it would. And I know this because they got feelings of trees. Have you ever hugged one? You get a good sense back. Right, go out and hug a tree and you'll see. And also, I saw once that the trees came to help us in Middle-earth. And if it weren't for they trees, I don't think us would have won. And we wouldn't be here today talking like this. So just remember, trees got feelings, everyone. So get out and hug a tree. 'Tis a wonderful thing to do. Now, Tone's next question was climate change. Is it man-made? Well, I suppose it be, Tone. I think we could blame it on all sorts of things. Volcanoes ain't man-made, is them? And they put out a lot of potash, and that doesn't help the climate because the sun can't get through to actually pollinate and stuff. Then the sun can't get through to actually do what it needs to do. So the polar ice caps warm up because the hot air can't escape. So they melt. So it could be down to all sorts, but I do believe man has had a part to play in it, maybe a big part, but it isn't all down to man, no. It's down to a lot of other things as well. And I suppose if you sit down and go through every single thing that happens and every reaction, it's probably 50-50, possibly 60-40 in man's favour. But we haven't bloody helped matters, and we still ain't helping now. Our next questions come from my dear wife Charlotte. What do I think about the Sahara dust? Well, my answer to that, Charlotte, is 'Tis cheaper than cocaine. My next question's from my dear little boy Harry. He's asked why I say poopy. 'Cause I can't say shit. Well, there we go, my beautifuls. And I thank everybody for their questions. I'm sure there'll be some more. So keep asking and we'll try and answer questions as best as possible. Now, before I go, I'd just like to say look after everybody and take care of each other. And I'll see you soon, my beautifuls. Take care, my beauties.